Would you welcome Loni Anderson? How are you?
I'm fine.
Yeah, you sure are an attractive thing.
Thank you very much.
You really are.
Do you remember the first time we met?
You don't have a subpoena or anything, do you?
I have a surprise.
We've met before?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, come on
We
now.
worked together before. In 1976, I was a slave girl and you were a fool.
That sounds about right. Where was that? Was that on television?
This was right on this stage.
Are you putting me on?
With Orson Welles.
We did a sketch with Orson Welles.
Yes.
He had a harem.
Yes.
What did he play?
He was the Sultan and I was the slave girl.
I was the court jester,
and you were
the fool.
Do you remember that girl? We chatted in the afternoon.
The old chatting before the show game. This is you right there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll be...
You going to show it?
Yes, I'm going to show that.
Okay.
You are kneeling right down here. But your hair wasn't as...
No, my hair was
wasn't
sort
as
of
blonde.
auburn. You know, I went through all those stages from being a brunette to the color I have now. Yeah.
Well, I'll be talking
I had a good time because Orson Welles was wonderful. And
Wasn't
you had,
that kinda nice?
little jingle bells on your hat.
I was wearing
You were
those
the
things
court
with the little
jester.
bells on the turned up. I played the court jester
And
with
I
them.
really appreciated it because you did all your action around me, so I was on camera all the time, even when I wasn't speaking. And I was watching it from an airport on my way back to Minnesota to visit my family.
I'm really kind of embarrassed. Did we really talk a little?
We really did, yes.
What did we talk about?
You were charming. You were very nice.
Well,
You asked me all about my background and everything. He was really very nice.
Good. It's always scary when somebody comes out of your past and says, "Hi there." Oh, boy. Well, things in 4 years have
really changed. Yeah,
you,
I'd
haven't
only been
they?
out here about a year at that time. And it was
From Minnesota,
from
if I
Minnesota.
remember.
Oh,
All the Andersons and Johnsons are from
oh,
Minnesota.
absolutely. Everybody. The phone book is loaded with it.
I used to go up there in the Midwest when I was growing up. My folks, that was our vacation.
You
for
were
the
in
year,
the
looking at
Winter
lakes.
Carnival Parade when I was a little girl.
Going right to the motion picture Country Home, folks, from here. That's right. I was up there in St. Paul
Yes.
and
In the cold.
yeah, St. Paul and
Minneapolis.
for the winter, and that was 19.
Oh, we don't even want to talk about it.
A good 12, 15 years ago,
Oh,
something
yeah.
like that.
Oh, yeah. At least.
Did we meet ever before that?
No. That I
Do I know your mother at all? Don't take me any further back. Now, were you there at the Winter Carnival?
Yes, I remember seeing you in the parade, all bundled up in my snowsuit.
Oh, I remember how cold it was. I did not believe. They had an open car.
Uh-huh.
And I think Steve and Edie were up there that year, if I remember. And we put on a show at the auditorium there. And they gave us those little Johnny warmers, they call them, the butane things that you had to carry in your
clothes.
in your pants and other areas of your choice because it was well below zero.
I was just in it recently, and it snowed.
Yeah.
And we were in open convertibles, and the snow came down and melted on you, and, you know, your hair, my hair looked just perfect, and I got into the hotel, and everybody said, look at you, you just look like you're just wonderful, you're just perfect, your hair didn't move. Well, it was frozen.
The hairspray had frozen?
Well, you know, it had melted on my hair, and it was frozen, and I was there for about a half an hour, and all of a sudden, I was just like a drowned rat. All this water came streaming
Defrosted.
down. Yeah, defrosted. Right?
You're not from Minneapolis or St. Paul. You're from small Minneapolis?
No, I'm from St. Paul.
You're all from St. Paul. Do they have stations at all, even similar to the one you're playing on?
WKRP?
Yeah.
Well, I did a lot of radio. I did a lot of radio commercials and a lot of radio voiceover work. But one year, when I was a teenager, WGGY was the big rock and roll station in Minnesota. And they had
First time I ever heard 4 letters get applause.
And the disc jockeys had a contest for the best groomed teenage girl in the city, Miss Good Grooming.
Miss Good Grooming.
Miss Good Grooming. And they, at a big ballroom, all the disc jockeys judged the girls as we paraded by. And I was about 15 years old. And I was Miss Good Grooming.
Did you win Miss Good Grooming?
I won Miss Good Grooming for WDGY.
What are some, you must have won other, if you've ever even entered contests.
Well, my very first one, when I was 14 years old, I was Miss Thermojack Clothing. Now,
Miss Thermojack.
yes, my mother took me to the department store where you had your picture taken in a big parka with fur, you know, all over the hood and everything. And then you waited a week, and on Saturday morning, the winner's picture would be in the paper in her parka.
Ah.
So you had to wait the whole week, and I remember I couldn't sleep the night before and everything.
Well, a title like that, I can see why.
I opened up the newspaper, and there I was, Miss
Well,
Thermojack Clothing. But I had a lot of weird titles, like Miss Hole-in-One for...
I don't even want to know the
No,
details
you
of that.
don't even get into that. Yeah, I did a lot of
How did
strange...
you get from Minneapolis out here? Did you decide one day, hey, I'm going to Hollywood?
No, after graduating from college and
Right.
taught high school for a little while, I started doing...
You taught high school?
Yes.
Oh, good heavens. What grade in high school?
Juniors, 16-year-old kids.
You couldn't have looked very old yourself.
No, I didn't.
Isn't
And
that,
that's
isn't
why
that
I
an
only
awful
taught for
hazard?
3 months. It was terrible.
It had to be.
Oh, yeah. The guys said terrible things to me, and I was afraid, and I left.
Boy.
Yeah. And then I became, well, I'd always been an actress, like in little theater,
Yeah.
but not professionally. Then I started acting professionally on stage and did that for about 6 years before I went to New York. I traveled
Right.
all over the country. Went to New York, and then I worked with Pat O'Brien and his wife, and he said, go to Los Angeles. They need you.
And you did?
Yeah.
And it's all working great.
Yeah.
And we were talking about Engelbert, who bought Jane Mansfield's house.
Yeah.
Now, is it true? I hear rumors. You never know what to believe in Hollywood. You read things in the papers, and you believe about 20% of what you read in the
I
papers
really
out
am
here.
going to play Jane Mansfield.
You're going to play James Mansfield?
Yeah.
Last?
I'm
Wow.
gonna give you that. And
You are too young to remember her. I mean, you've seen pictures of her, but
Right.
she was a guest on this show many times, and she was quite a gal. She had a great sense of humor.
That's
She
what I
could
keep saying.
laugh at herself, you know. People make jokes about her, you know, saying the dumb blonde. And
But
she
she
wasn't at
wasn't,
all.
no.
She was quite bright, and she knew exactly the role she was playing, and she played it beautifully.
Well, that's what's so spectacular about this script, is that you can see both sides. Now
Yeah.
we're going to see Jane the woman and Jane the person she put on to the public.
Yeah.
And then you do find out that it was just all a facade.
Oh, yeah.
And she really was a very bright and funny lady.
I remember once in New York that every time Jane would come on, she would do the plugs. She would mention her hairdresser, where she got the dress from, what she was doing, and I got one of those little toy cash registers you'd have in the... You get, and every time she'd mention one, I'd hit the cash register. She'd say, you know, I'm doing a promotion for Swift Meats or something, and I'd hit the cash register. And she got hysterical with the thing. She had a great sense of humor.
Oh, she was wonderful.
You've never seen the house, then, has she?
No, and we're very eager to film around the heart-shaped pool, but so far we've had a no.
Well, now, that's... Tell you what I do. I'll make my pool heart-shaped if you... You come up there and we'll film it right on my property. Let me do this. We'll be right back. Stay where you are. You did? Lonnie just told me that along with... you're playing Jane, of course, and Arnold Schwarzenegger is going to
he's
play
playing
her
Mickey.
boyfriend at that time, Mickey Hargitay,
Yes, and husband.
and husband. So when are you going to start that?
We start in March, the middle of March.
Should be
And it should
fascinating.
be on in the fall.
I
Yeah.
wish you well with it.
Thank you very
Look,
much.
well, no, she's not coming to your house to check the pool. I'm changing my pool. My next guest is an 85-year-old gentleman who's probably, they tell me, the world's oldest self-defense expert. He's trained policemen, FBI agents, and specializes in teaching senior citizens the art of protecting themselves from muggers. He's going to be appearing on NBC's Real People April the 9th. We thought we'd give you a preview. Would you welcome Bill Underwood? Bill? Bill Underwood. Bill's been doing this for 73 years. He's 85 now. You are in tremendous shape. I understand you can do this, anybody, any size at all, and it's all self-contained. You can do it in a small area.
4 square feet.
Yeah. What is there a
And
name for
20
this?
hours is sufficient
To learn your technique?
protect from anybody. A little girl like this or a 7-year-old child can take the rapist and destroy him in 2 seconds.
Suppose I was going to attack Loni.
You better.
A thought
give you a
which has
couple of-
entered my mind several times during the evening. Is there some way she could defend
Oh, she
herself?
can destroy you.
Could you show her?
Yeah.
All right, suppose
I'll show her right
suppose
here.
suppose she's on walking down a street, and I come up behind her.
You come up behind.
Because that's
I'll
the
show
way
you.
I usually work.
All right, you're
Now
going to
what?
show me
Put
first?
your arms right round.
Now, just very slow.
Right round. Put
And
your
suppose
arms-
just.
No, pin my arm.
Oh, in other words, yeah, that's what somebody
now,
would do.
he's got you like that.
Now,
Put
just
this
very
on
slow,
top of
very slow,
thighs.
very slow.
Put
Bill.
this on top of
Yeah.
thigh. And you hit a nerve, and that loosens up the grip. Now,
Oh.
hold it. And all you do is pick up the finger.
Don't do with the finger, Bill. To
No,
Bill.
don't do it. And all you do...
That's
you
my
don't do
hitchhiking
that-
hand,
don't
Bill.
do that.
Okay, good. That'll work. That'll do it. Right. You're free. You're free.
You go for the eyes then, too?
No.
You don't go
Don't
for
be
the eyes?
cruel.
Oh, don't be cruel. Don't
Don't
go
be
for
cruel.
the eyes. I see.
So she.
Let's
you
do
just
it
reach
without doing it, sure.
Yeah.
Now watch.
Okay.
You're grabbed,
See,
you
I
grab
grab
around
you.
there, and you hit a nerve, which is on the second run there, with your thumb, and wiggle it. And that breaks the joint of the clip. Then, when you've broken it, you pick this up this way, like the lobster claw. And you don't do anything. You don't move that. You bend
Oh,
this.
You see?
yes. Oh,
Let's try that.
Or why am I going to try that?
Well, I hugged you a little higher, but I'll hug her.
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
What?
which,
you have to
are
put
you
the other one?
right-handed?
Uh-huh.
Doesn't matter, but so they will
Where-
see. Now you take your knuckle and you hit it spot right there. He's not in a hurry at all. And then when that comes out, you pick up the finger. Pick up the finger. Pick up the finger. I can't look.
Oh, I'm
You
sorry.
can't look.
Okay, Bill.
Okay, we're leaving.
Okay, back to reality. All right. You know what to do now, Lonnie?
No.
I think you lay down and talk it over.
We'll continue this later. Okay, we'll take a break.